many a winding turn that leads us to who knows where, who knows where. So let's be strong. We've got to carry on, working together, sisters and brothers. So on we go. Your welfare is my concern. No burden are ye to bear. We'll get there, we will get there, for I know ye will not encumber me, working together, sisters and brothers. If I'm laden at all, I'd be laden with sadness when everyone's heart is not filled with gladness of love for one another. It's a long, hard road, but Amin-Ra is always there. And while we're on the sacred way, why don't we share then the load? I know the load will not weigh us down at all, working together, sisters and brothers. Let's work together, sisters and brothers. You know, the sacred African way is not a way of ease. The sacred African way is a way that calls you and I to make some changes in our lives, to realize that we're one people. The sacred African way calls us to realize, to personify, to make real that wisdom that comes from the hand of Brother Armour, that there is indeed a power, a force, a spirit in this world, but it's not something cut off from us. It's a power that lives in us and through us, and strongest when we work and think and breathe and build together as one people. So let's be one people. Let's work together, having one faith, one aim, one destiny, and one God. If I'm laden at all, I'd be laden with sadness when everyone's heart is not filled with gladness, gladness of love, love. Let's love one another. You know it's a long, hard road. Amin-Ra is always there. While we're on the sacred African way, Amin-Ra wants us to share in the load. I know the Lord will not weigh us down and on, working together. Sisters and brothers, let's work together. Sisters and brothers, let's work together. If you feel that the Creator wants us to work together, let me see you wave your hand this morning. If you feel that the ancestors will be satisfied if we work together, why don't you wave your hand? And if you feel the fire burning in your bones, help me sing the song. Working together, working together. Come on, let me hear you sing. Working together, working together, working together, working together, working together. Let's work together. All right. Sure.
Perfect opening song. Great Rising, everyone. What a perfect song to bring us into this beautiful Sunday morning. If you guys could experience what I'm experiencing right now, you would be like overjoyed, because I'm sitting in the sanctuary and I got brothers and sisters in the sanctuary with me. We have Brother Mally, Babu Stadi, Sister Rana, Baba Kalabazi. We have little Sister Hila, Baba Ty's granddaughter, one who has sang for us before. Yeah. To get her to sing for us again. And we have Mama Connie, and we have James Payton, all the way from Maryland. Coming to hang out with his brother. We have Baba David from the Sounds of Mott, and we have Brother AJ. So I'm feeling good. And I'm Mama Kanke. So welcoming you this morning. So now it's our time in the service that we will do our community affirmation, and Brother Ty is going to come forth with that. Hila's grandfather.
We will know God's truth to be free and self-determined.
Creator, help us to remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors, and to honor the struggle of our elders.
Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us.
Let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, study, and listen so we may learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance.
Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation, with discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive to be the living models of the new direction of our people.
We are an African people.
We are children of God. Ashe.
So thank you for that. So I'm Baba Ty, and I'm one of those people that considers myself a person that stays in the background, and I stay in the background because whenever they put a microphone in my face, I always do more than I'm supposed to. Okay, and so that said, there's a couple things that I'm going to do that I wasn't supposed to do. And the first is, well, I was going to do the affirmation. Thank you, Jill. We're doing that. I don't need that. They already did the affirmation. I did want to, again, acknowledge and thank my granddaughter, Hila, for her prayer. She did, for those who recognize her as my granddaughter, she said her grandfather passed away on Father's Day. I hope you weren't shocked. You said, what happened to Ty? It was her other grandfather, her grandfather, Hank, and her dad's father, and she did pour libation to him this morning as well. The other thing I want to do is my brother from DC, Pastor James Payton is here, along with David. David's here, I'm here. David's son, Sankar, is not here, and David's wife, Latrice, is not here, and Mama Darnisha is not here. But we are, this week, leaving to go to Africa. And so I ask you for traveling graces and prayer. So thank you for that. And the other thing I want to do is, the next thing on our agenda is music. Now, we thought we had worked it out so that you would get beautiful music and video. Well, the best laid plans of mice and men don't always work, as they say. So we think we'll give you great music. We need to make a couple of adjustments on our soundboard, I think. We think we'll give you great music, but unfortunately, we don't think we'll give you video. So you'll have to listen to it and watch David's. But what I do think is that if you look at my feed, I think we'll still have the music up. And so you'll be able to see something. And so that said, the next thing on the agenda, I think.
Baba Tai, where
Yes.
are you going in Africa?
I can't hear you. Say it again.
See, where are you going?
Where in Africa are you going?
Oh, Mama Danisha is leading a trip to Ghana. And so we'll be in Ghana for 14 days. And then my brother and I are, at the end of the trip, we're going to Tanzania. We're going to spend another week in Tanzania.
Awesome. Thank you.
So again, I thank you for all your prayers for traveling graces. And the next thing is going to be music. I'm now stalling because
You have to stop talking.
I have to stop talking. Okay, so the next thing is going to be music. So, am I muted? Am I going to mute or not?
Singing? Yeah, man. All right.
I'm not hearing any music.
If there was ever a man who would generous graces, that was my dad. But If there was ever a man who had generous graces and everybody, a human being so true he could live like a king, 'cause he knew of every pleasure in life. You be devoted to and always stand by me, so I be unafraid.
Happy share.
Ashe. You know, we're working it out. We're working it out.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting back into the groove, you know, as we ease on back into the building and playing around with technology. We got computer over here, instruments here, folks here. So we're doing exactly what we need to do. We're bringing you everything we got from our hearts. So we thank the Sounds of Mott, Baba Sydney, and Mama Connie. And so right now, we're going to have some more creative talent coming to us, and Brother Katabazi is going to bring us one of his wonderful poems.
Ashe.
Okay.
Good morning, Mosaic community.
Good morning, Baba.
Good morning to all the brothers and sisters that's out in the audience here this morning.
Ashe.
It is indeed good to be back in the house of Amin Ra. There is a type of energy that does come when we're in our sanctuary and we're going through our rituals. And so I'm going to do a couple of poems today. And I like to present my poems with music. And it's one of the best ways to understand my poetry is by reading it and listening to music. And so this morning, I'm being joined by Augusto Pablo doing a track called Easy Skanking. And so I want to give him praise and thanks for the wonderful music that he's presented and written over the years. I also like to do the poems of other poets because it helps to keep their works alive as well as promoting my own. And so the poem that one of the poems I've selected this morning is a poem by Langston Hughes. And I like this poem because I think it shows the different facets of Hughes and how his growth was at that point in time. This poem was written about 1954, but clearly he was very, very worldly, very aware as to history and our connection in the world to it. The poem he wrote is called "The Negro Speaks of Rivers."
Yeah.
It goes, I've known rivers. I've known rivers as ancient as the world and older than the flow of blood flowing in human veins. I built my hut next to the Congo and it lulled me to sleep. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I looked up on the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. And I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans. And I've seen its musty bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusty rivers.
Yes.
My soul has gone deep like the river.
Yes.
So thank Brother Langston Hughes for writing that wonderful poem. You wrote it somewhere back in 1954. This is a poem of my composition, and it simply expressed a desire. I want to write a poem. I want to write a poem that resonates in the hearts and minds like the sound of 10,000 djembe drummers drumming the same rhythm at the same time in the same place, listening to it bounce and pop off the peaks and slopes of Mount Kilimanjaro, gliding down its massive sides and out onto the lands below, encapsulating the people in a oneness. A poem that unfolds like flowers of endless colors, rising up in the vibrancies of greens, yellows, and reds, swirling, mixing, forming all the colors of the spectrum, filling the mind like the expanse of the universe. Visual senses expand like a nuclear explosion that spreads from horizon to horizon, all spiraling out of an infinitesimal black dot. While food aromas fills the nostrils, paints the palate with great promises, mouth-watering anticipations of succulence, the licking of lips, widening of the eyes, the ever-demanding stomach, tethered to the aromas. Let's dance the night away in a hot reggae dance hall, feeling the beat and heat of the room as pulsating, jumping, twisting, dipping, energized bodies respond to the driving music. Bass, drum, and scratchy guitar, producing that energy of gaiety and blissful joy. Like the rush of a mighty tsunami that sweeps away many of the current things while laying the foundation for the new, scrubbing the mind of falsehoods and lies that holds captive the spirit of self, holding firm to remnants of the sacred that feeds our hopes, dreams, and visions. A poem of bliss and contentment that washes over you like a calming breeze, like a meditative trance filling you with the knowing of things previously unknown, that hardens our resolve to be free and restored. Yeah, I want to write a poem.
Yes. That's it.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Brother Kambasi. The beautiful poem by our ancestors. And one by
Mute yourself.
Is it? I'm getting feedback. Is anyone else getting feedback?
Mute yourself, Rhonda.
Okay, so now it's time in our service that we're going to bring our history to you. Just like the poem that Brother Katabazi wrote, read by Langston Hughes, our history runs deep, always has something to give us, to lift us up. And so I'm going to ask that Minister in Training, Ronna Thurston, to us historical tribute. Thank you.
I see.
Give us one moment. As we work the countdown. By the time that we finish with the Zoom, we'll be well rounded.
That board right there.
Right? Our pool
Where's the
was
sound supposed to be?
it's running high.
Might have to talk it. Do that.
So as our people are getting, some of our members are getting ready to go to Ghana, I have an announcement to make.
That means mine is muted.
I am a retired woman.
Okay, now.
You just told me I was walking away. Anyway, I wanted to make an announcement that I am now a retired woman. They will now raise me with a pension. And I'm joining the illustrious group. There's my brother. So, but I just want to say, as some of our members, Mother David, Baba David, Mama Latrice and Kari and James and Ty and Nisha, and I forget who else that was there. As they embark on their travels to the motherland. Yes.
Can we have an extra prayer request for Sankaras and my visas that has?
Oh, yes. Yes. We pray for expediency, like tomorrow, that these
Let's do
visas.
another song and see if you can get.
Okay, put the energy out there.
I see.
Go to the second song.
Okay, so right now, we're going to present to you while we work out a few little bugs here. We're gonna present you with some more music.
All right.
And then after that, hopefully we'll be able to present to you the historical tribute.
Can you hear us when I say community? Come on, Ty.
No, no.
No,
show. Oh, we sing?
no.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, you. Yeah. You love me well said.
Okay, so we can sing into any of these mics and get the sound, mix it up? No?
The mics are on.
They are on. The mics are on. That's it. All right, we are working this thing out. So can I use Excalibur? Excalibur is on? Yes, yes. All right. So, thank you, and thank you for struggling through, or going through, it's not a struggle, going through the technical difficulties and such with this, because it's more about the spirit of the Most High. I say when we're in the house of the Most High, we're in the house of worship, in the house of prayer. It's more important to deal with the feeling, deal with the spirit. So we're rolling with the spirit here. Shay, so you guys say a little prayer for us as we move along, all right? All right, thank you. Just want to know if you guys hear this message, if you're getting the message from today, if you're hearing the message that we're putting across for you. I want to know if you're out there, if you're there, raise your hand. If you're there, smile with me. If you're there, rock a little bit with me. And as I see that, I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Test. Still don't hear me? Can you hear me?
You just something else.
I'm trying to hear. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you feel me? All right. Can you feel the spirit? Can you feel the spirit? If I get a nod, can you see me? Can you feel me? All right. Can you feel the spirit? Can you feel the spirit? I hear it now. You can't see me now. You can hear us now? Yeah. Can you hear me now? All right. Hey, all right. Now we got you. Feel it. Oh, we're working it out. Still not hearing it. I'm hearing love. Let's go. Yeah, come on now. Wherever you stand, we're the generation. Yesterday, it's already say, search for a melody. It's purple from one to be. We were looking for the world to change. If you feel safe, then go on and say it if you're out there. Sing along with me if you're out there, yes. I'm dying to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. Tomorrow's starting now. Oh, Less is love and peace left. Everybody we can conquer hate. Went down the only way. Joining hands today. Sing along with me if you're out there. I'm going to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. Tomorrow's starting now. It starts with us. We don't have to wait for destiny. We should be the way that we want to be out there. Oh, sing along, you're out there. I'm dying to believe that you're out there. You're out there.
We extend All right.
Looks like it's. Now explain.
Production will be, we'll work a little bit harder on production. And we thank Abba Sydney, Yanni, and the musicians. Because if you were here, if you were in the building, we got the sound. Because we out there. You out there, we were out there, so.
So tell them next time they
we
should
did
be here.
enjoy it for everyone.
Next time they
We
should be here.
I
apologize
keep trying to tell you, because every time David
Um,
comes up, it takes over the screen.
Yes. Oh, and
It
like
cuts
about
all of the
Facebook,
connections
which
from
we were getting
Zoom.
through the chat. So we were trying to work
Because
on it. Are we ready for the historical tribute?
his computer or whatever.
So, this
and
morning,
it's not coming back.
can you, Sister Rhonda, can you tell me who
So
the,
now it's
what's going to be on?
what you had on your.
Fatima Bay Benjamin. That was going to be the subject of the historical tribute. So, Rhonda, if you can put the name in the chat, maybe all this week, that we can all look up our ancestor just to see what was going to be presented to us. And Sister Rhonda worked very hard on the historical tribute, and because of some Zoom glitch, as I guess we'll call it. You know, we have our Zoom language, but but thank you anyway, Sister Rhonda, for your work. And so right now,
Minister in training.
Minister in training, Rhonda. That's right. So have we done it? No. Oh, okay. Now it's a time in our service for the Litany of Sacrifice. And the Litany of Sacrifice, I believe, is being brought to us by Brother Kadabasi.
Yeah, you just need to find a copy.
Oh, here it is.
Good morning again, brothers and sisters. We regret various technical difficulties that we've had this morning, but this marks a transitional period as the rest of the society begins to open up. We too are starting to open up and starting to transition back into our building, which we love being here. But we have encountered a few technical problems being here and then transmitting to the Zoom as well. But we'll work those things out. So I'm here because this is the time for the Litany of Sacrifice. And I want to take a few moments to thank each and every one over the last year that have made contributions to the Wose community. And we know that those were difficult times. I'm sure some of you had to make difficult decisions, but nevertheless, many of you continue to give consistently of that which you have. And just know that we here at the Wose community, we appreciate that. And we always try to use every nickel and dime as expedient as we can, because we are doing this for the community. And so as we move to the Litany of Sacrifice, it begins. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. how can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We will praise your name, O Amin Ra, for it is good. Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Kujachagalia, self-determination. We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together. Ujima, cooperative economics. Together we shall build and maintain our own businesses and together profit from them. Here, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and development of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness. Creativity. We shall do as much as we can in any way we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it. Money, faith. We will believe with all our hearts in our God, our people, and in the righteousness and the victory of our struggle. And I believe that Brother Bill has, yes, he's placed on the screen the various means that you can send in your contributions to the Wose Community Oakland, as well as to Wose Community Sacramento. And there are electronic ways of making donations, as well as the traditional means of forming your donation through the mail system. And at this moment, I'll take just a few moments to bless these contributions. The Holy One, Divine Creator, we thank you for these sacrifices, for these contributions. We thank you for each and every one that gave. We thank you for each and every one that did not give, but wanted to give. And we pray for each and every one under the sound of our voice. Jed, Sinel, life, prosperity, and health. To each and every one of our members around the countries and to their family, we indeed wish them life, health, and prosperity. And as we prepare ourselves for the message to come, again, Wose Community, we thank you for these contributions and know that we will use them in the most expeditious and in the most efficient way that we can. We have much work to do, and so each and every amount of funds, there is a place for that to go. And so again, thank you everyone that gave and continue to be engaged with the services. And as I step aside, Sister Conte will rejoin you.
Brother Kadabazi, and that we do thank you all for your giving, for there is great joy in giving, we know, and that we know that giving is not a singular thing because it is a reciprocal thing. When we give, we receive. When we receive, we give. That is our way. So we do thank you very much. So now is the time in our service that's like the main dish, you would say. I was gonna say the meat of the service, but it's a lot of us vegetarian, so. Where this is the main dish, the entree, as they say. And so this person is very familiar to us, has brought us the word a number of times. He's well talked about. I call him the mayor. I call him the mayor because I saw how people opened doors for him, strangers in a city, you know, and was just amazing to me. So I just said, you need a key to the city. So, you know, they give the mayor, you know, this kind of stories, but give the mayor the key to the city. And that's what they gave this man anytime. I used to sing with him and Baba Achebe. We had a group, and when we used to want to go practice, we didn't have a practice spot. We'd ride around the car and, you know, he would say, stop right here, let me go check. He'd run into a building, come out and say, all right, y'all, come on. I go, how he doing? You know, so that's when I pinned the name on him, the mayor. So, but anyway, bringing to us the word today will be our minister in training, Sydney Coulter.
Thank you for that warm welcome, that most distinguished introduction from Mama Kanke. Yes, we have been together for many, many years, and we did a lot of moving around and singing and rehearsing here, there, and all over. And I want to also give a warm spirited hand to my brother AJ, my brother Baba David, and they came up here, and I really feel so, I don't know, feel bad is not the word, but it's unfortunate that you guys didn't get a chance to hear what they were playing. And it's been so long since we've been able to enjoy service live music here at Rose. I mean, it felt good to me. And so I was jumping around, got the spirit moving within myself. And want to thank those who came out. It's a slow moving train, you know, not one of those freight trains, but the trains that they used to ride with those the sleepers with the porters. You know, we're on that type of luxury liner. It takes a little while to get going, and so this is the first chug, you know, the engine going, and so we're coming out, and the crowd, the folks are starting to slowly emerge and starting to come back in. And so that's a wonderful thing. And we're working for, looking into, and praying that the Most High help us to get through all of this, so that one day in the near future, you know, we'll have a nice size crowd here, nice size spiritual community here enjoying. So we want to thank you for that again. You know, those difficulties. So I'm going to take a few moments and to give a word. And before I do, as always, I would like for those within the sound of my voice, those within the community, if you could bow your heads for a moment of prayer. Creator Most High, we come before you with bowed heads and humble hearts, thanking you for another opportunity to come together and to raise your name. We call on you to continue to watch out for us, watch out for this community. We want to thank you for waking us up this morning. We want to thank you for the message that was brought to us by the young Sister Gila, if I got it right. She got up and spoke from her heart, and that's what we try and do. I believe that the heart within the Kemetic the Kemetic system, belief system is at the heart, is like the central portion of the human body, of the soul. And we want to thank you for touching her soul, and thank you for touching each and every one of us. We want to send this prayer out into our community. We know that there's a lot of struggle, a lot of challenges going on. Those who are listening to the sound of my voice, many of you may be going through some challenges, and that we hope that today's service, and hope that something that I say, one word, if it reaches one singular person and helps them out, then I will be satisfied. Creator God, I ask that you guide my heart, guide my tongue, help this message, help the messenger to bring a message. I ask you to do this in your most sacred name. Amen Ra, Ashe, Ra. And as Mama Conke started off, one of the things about WOSE and any institution is order. Any institution of value is order. And so we start the message by opening up with prayer, asking the Most High to bless us and to guide my tongue and my heart. I share the next thing is to, I asked got some great. However, I want to ask the elders if there's an elder out there that would give me permission to speak. I appreciate that. And I got Baba Katabasi, my wife, she got me by 3 months. But it's okay. She is an elder, Baba Gustati and all. So thank you for that. So the message is, the prayer has been given, and the permission to speak by the elders, because it all has to do with the wisdom of those who have come before us. Okay. And so I want to just spend a couple of moments today speaking on something I've been thinking about. It's the story of Kunanu. It's a very, very powerful story. And there are classic stories, classic folklore, classic mythology that talks to us. And to me, this is one that speaks to me. And many of you may know the story of Kunanu, and I will try and do it, not drag it out too long, but so, inform those who don't know and kind of buttress up against those who do know. Because we know that when you do give a message, that you're not necessarily teaching. Those things are in a classroom or a different setting. I say that a lot of times what you do when you give a message is that you're reinforcing what most of us already know. Okay. Something that we all are going through, things that I am going through, I share, and I'll share stories and things that tie into it, and tell you things that we already know. We support one another by the message that we give. So I'm not like I'm trying to teach you and tell you things that you don't know. We're sharing in the story and the wisdom of the Most High. Is that all right with everybody? All right. Well, so the story of Kunanu is, and we would have to, I have to tell you, it's at least 3,000 years old. Baba Gustati can probably dig a little bit deeper and tell you exactly, but we're talking thousands of years ago. This story was written down. And the thing about it was written down, and what went on, what was written down then is still applicable to today's time, because wisdom and truth is something that's constant. Truth is something that is constant. Well, Kunanu was and the story, and I have also, excuse me, before I go too far, my good minister of training, Brother Bill, had put into the chat, I believe, a copy of this specific story of Kunanu. You'll find some of his petitions in the Hosea, but the fuller story is put in there. And so you have to put the two together. You don't have to, you get a sense of it, a better sense when you read it. So as it goes, is that Kunanu was called the elegant, eloquent peasant. And I think that peasant in this instant had more to do with a class structure than talking about someone being a discarded citizen. You understand what I mean? You're not talking about he was a person who slept on the streets. Or,
Right.
Someone that we step over. Kunanu was of a working class. And so in many of these societies, they had the royal class. Then they had those that work within the royal class, and they had a name. And then we had everyone else. A working man was called a peasant. And I don't really feel that it was an insult. Maybe it was. But in today's politics, it's different. So he was an eloquent worker. He was a eloquent a person that got up every morning and went about the business of providing for his family. And so Kunanu, on this particular day, got up and he said it was time to go to the storehouse, and all the things that he and his wife and his family had been storing up and saving. He was a farmer and things like that. They would load up the wagon, get the donkeys, and they would go into the town and sell them. Well, it was that time of year that he was going in to sell all his wares. So he told his wife to come help him as he loaded up the wagon. Talk about loading up the wagon, that he had such as salt and natron and other minerals that he put on there. And he had the skins of panthers that they talk about. He's skinning animals and put it there. He had vegetables that he was selling and mints and all kind of things. He loaded this wagon up and he was going into town to sell it. He was going into Kemet. And so he told his wife that, to pull out enough supplies to provide for his wife and his children for about a week, because he was going to be gone. He was going into Kemet to sell. So they loaded everything up onto the wagons with the donkeys, the mules, and they started on the way to Kemet. And in my mind's eye, I see this brother, and I do believe, just reading about it and knowing how we are as a people, that he read what we would call the virtues, that you think much, you speak much, you do much. He would read something from what we would call nowadays the good book. He would read the things of how to carry yourself, because he was an honorable man. He was a respected man. And so he prepared himself, got everything together, and he was on the road to Kemet to sell. And as he rolled down the way, this hard-working brother going to sell to provide for his wife and his children. Then you have, on the other hand, just, I don't want to use the word evil, but you do have people whose their mindset, their heart, their belief, their spirit is to take advantage, to harm others, to take from others. Yeah. And this brother was named Nimtinat. And Nimtinat was not he was not what they would call a peasant. He was not a working man. He was a wealthy man. And as they talk about Nimtinat, he had what we would call, he had a waterfront home, because a river went by his house. And I'm thinking, going back thousands of years, if you got your house on the river, you're doing a little bit better than most people. So he had the waterfront home, and he had a field of barley and other grown goods and vegetables out in the garden. And he also had servants who were at his beckoning call. Oh, he was not a common man. Nimtinat had things, but there's something about, I don't want to just say it's, I'm not going to say evil. It's the opposite of good. Come on. I don't know how we want to describe it. You put it in your word. Nimtinat, for some reason, he had more than anyone or most people in his town or village, was out strolling his land wanting others' work, and he saw Kunapu approaching with his donkey, loaded to bear with all of these goods. And although he had more livestock than Kunanu, although he had more goods than Kunanu, he looked at it and said, you know what? I want that. And in the words, if you read, he talks about the desire in his heart. And as I said prior, that in the Kemetic system, in a lot of places, the heart is just not something that just beats blood. The heart is the center of your character. It's the essence of who you are. I say, so in his heart, I mean, in his character, his essence, saw this hardworking brother coming down the way. You know, this brother who got up in the morning and took what he had. He had a field that he went and toiled. You know, you have a field just doesn't grow up all the different vegetables. You gotta go out there and, you know, you gotta work it. You gotta roll your sleeves up and till the soil. You gotta turn it over. You gotta get some sweat going. And then you gotta go grab some seeds and you gotta throw them out there, however you do it, the rows, and you gotta do some work and you gotta water them, you gotta nurture them, you gotta talk to them, you gotta do what you do to make these things grow. He had some skins of some animals that he had captured that he had, you know, done whatever, and they skinned the animal. That's work. I never skinned an animal. I've seen it done. It's not an easy job. But he was out doing the work that he had to do to make this happen. Well, you don't get the sense that that Nimtina was one who worked. You don't get the sense that he built that house by the water. That house was somebody built it. He bought it straight like that. You don't get the sense that he was one of the ones who actually got out there in the field and toiled and turned the soil and planted and did any of the work. He just got it, sent other people to do it. Don't appreciate the work that people do.
Yes, yes.
And so when he saw Kunanu coming, he just said, I want what he had. How can I take it, rob it, trick him, you know, deceive him? How can I get what he had? And he came up with the evil plan. Not evil. He came up with his aesthetic plan. He came up with a plan to how he could separate this hardworking brother from his goods. We know that this is happening in the world today. You know, Mama Zizi, you know, they're just some people who get up in the morning and they plan is to figure out how to take what you got, not to go out and work. They work as hard as trying to figure out how not to work and take your stuff that you do get up every morning to go out and work. So the plan he came up with was to get a fine piece of material. So he had one of his servants run into the house and he said to grab a piece of material long enough to block the entire road, to go from the hillside where the body was going, stretching across, and I'm in my mind, I'm assuming probably about 8 to 10 feet, maybe 12 feet. It was a public road, but he put his nice material right in the middle of the road from the foot of the hill all the way to the tip of the water. So all was covered, no way to go. And he stood out there with his servants. I'm not gonna call them his boys, that was his worker. You know, they ain't gonna do what the boss man said. So he laid it out there. So his Kunanu came with his donkeys, and he had it blocked, you know, and he said, like, you know, trying to get past, he said, hey, don't put a foot on my material. He was in a fix. What do I do? And so he uses a phrase. He says, you know, I'm on the right path. He calls it the way. I'm on a good way. And you know, where do we hear that from? We talk about the way, but that will say that we are the way. We follow the way. Truth, just the way is what? The way is my truth, justice, righteousness. This is how we live. And he was saying, listen, I'm going on a good way. I'm following the Most High. I'm living a good life. I'm not trying to cause no trouble.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? He said, well, don't step on it. Well, he had 1 or 2 ways to go. He could take the low road, and he said that would take me right into the river with my mules and all my goods and everything. You know, that's bad. Metaphorically, you know, you look at it and say, well, I got to do what? I can't take the low road. I got to take the high road. The high road was challenging. It don't necessarily mean that you take the high road that, you know, you get picked up by a lift and carried around. That's just how you go.
That's right.
So he said, I'm going to take the high road. So he and his mule with all his goods, they started up the hill a little bit. And I could just in my mind see them just leading these mules. And as they were walking along the hillside, one of the mules took, and they said, a wisp of barley. Now a wisp is just like, not even a stalk. It's just like one of the little pieces that comes off from the stalk, a little wisp of barley. The mule just took a little, you know, just, I'm a mule, you know, I mean, come on now. I'm walking through a mule, but I just want to smell it, you know, I want to touch it with my tongue, you know. And once he did that, this aesthetic man, Isfet is, you know, just the opposite of good. Said, he took that, he took some of my barley, so I'm going to take your mules. Meaning I'm going to take your mules with all your goods and everything, because he ate a wisp of barley. And he said, listen, I'll give you 10 times the amount, the value of it. Just let me, I got to provide for my family. And he said, no, I'm taking it. And he was just saying, come on, like, this is just not right. And he was trying to explain it. And just this aesthetic man took a stick and he started to beat him. Like, man, just shut up. Not only am I going to steal your stuff, I'm going to beat you too. Sometimes that's just the way it goes when, you know, evil, evil. Aesthetics. The opposite of good just does some very, very spiteful things. I'm going to beat you as well as steal from you. And as he was beating him, he started wailing. Ow! What you do if somebody beat you with a stick? He hollered out, oh! He cried out. And he told him now, shut up, don't even make a sound. Just let me take your stuff, beat you, and just don't say nothing. I mean, like, what that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Woo! I tell you, boy, that his fat boy just wrong is just wrong for 6,000 years. Wrong has been wrong. Wrong is still wrong. He beat it, took his stuff, and he let his guys lead the mules away. And as he laid there, beaten, but he has a family at home. I mean, I didn't put in the work. Yeah. I didn't toil the soil, the dirt, and planted it, and did all the things. And on a side note, I'm sure he wanted the mule because of the donkeys, because I'm sure his donkeys were in great health. Right. That he took care, he showed the same type of care for his donkeys that he did for his crops, that he did for everything else. They were groomed, they were fed, they were exercised, they were right, and I want that. So he just took his stuff, and they say he followed behind him, and he was begging and pleading with him, man, just give me my things back, please. 10 days. Can you imagine somebody beat you, take your stuff, tell you to shut up, don't say nothing. 10 days, you still going behind him. I know I have a struggle with that. I don't know what I would have done. I don't even want to think about it. I say, I don't know. You know, the spirit has not coalesced all of that inside me, I would say at that time. You know, who knows how it went, but he was more righteous than I may have been at that time. I don't know. But he found him 10 days, and he said, you know what? I'm going to go to, they call him the high steward, like the next in command. You know, I'm going to go into town and I'm going to talk to somebody who's about doing things right, because leadership is supposed to lead, supposed to be righteous, supposed to look out for the people, supposed to do all the things. So he went to the high priest. the high steward. And they say he waited outside his house. And the high steward came out in the morning. You can imagine that cat, boy. I couldn't have knew. He's sitting out in front of dude's house. Can you imagine that in the morning? You get up and dude and say, like, hey, man, listen. He said, sir, let me explain to you what happened. Matter of fact, why don't you send one of your workers, one of your servants to come sit and talk to me? Let me explain to him how wrong I have been done. Let me just explain to him and let him go back and tell you how much I was wrong, that what should happen in that case. And so that's what the high steward did. He sent a couple of his servants, some of his reporters, some of his staff, as we would call it now, about Masada, let me send a couple of my workers. Let me get my analysts. Let me get my analysts and, my investigator, my, inspector to go out there and talk to you. So they went out there and he started to explain it to him. He started to break it down. Now there's something in the Hosea, if we could look at where they talk about, I believe it's on page 50, and I'm sorry I did have it written down someplace, but it kind of went away. My mind is not as strong as Bible study. Bible study will tell you how many folks was in this section of the Hosea. But if you turn to page 50, it's a book of Kete. It says, be skilled in speech so that you will succeed. The tongue of a man is his sword, and effective speech is stronger than all fighting. None can overcome the skillful. A wise person is a school for the nobles. Ashe? What it says. So he had practiced and he believed this, and you could tell he was well read and well studied, and he lived a righteous life, and he can verbalize, not like many of us. I don't know that I can go before the nobles and break it down. I would try, but he did. And they say that the wise is a school for the noble. And as he started to break it down, I'm sure how he put his words and the phrasings together, and the colorfulness and the pattern, the cadence of his speech was such until when the servants, the workers went back, it was like, man, dude is nice. He breaking it down, making it so clear. And he said, well, I tell you what we do. Why don't we? And I'm kind of conflicted about this. He said, why don't you just hold him up and have him continue to talk to you? Don't answer him. Just like sitting. But have a scribe, have a writer, have a reporter write down every word he says. They knew something about this man, speaking from the heart. And he explained it, and I call him like a petition. He went to him and he explained it so eloquently. And it's long, I would read, but there's a lot of them. And if you get to look in your chat, he breaks it down, how to be a leader, how to take care of people, all the great things that should come by this guy, that he lives right, that the waters and the winds will be in his direction, that all around him will go well, because you're such a good person, man. Work with him. And he just didn't say nothing, they wrote it down. When they say he went, hadn't heard back from him, that he went back and he petitioned again. Second petition, same thing. He started breaking it all the way down, flowerful, colorful. Katabasi read from Langston Hughes. Just imagine some of the great writers that we have. He was way up there. He was breaking it down. They're writing it down. They don't answer. I think around the third or fourth petition, it started to change a little, because he saw that they're in a position of leadership. They have the power. They can make decisions that would actually positively affect his life as well as the entire community, and they choose to not do it. He talks about the balance on a scale, that they allow the scale to be unbalanced. It talks about how the judges become thieves. The police become thieves. Come on, man. That a lot those in authority that you expect that you put everything into were wrong. And he started changing a little bit. He started telling them. And this is the high steward who's working for the, for the magistrate. And even this guy, they say he grabbed a stick or had his boys grab a stick, his guard. Man, just beat him. And he beat him. I mean, they're telling him, he's talking from the heart. They beat him. I was like, wow, about the fourth partition. But he comes back 5 times. Came back 6 times. He had 9 petitions that he came with and gave it. And they say that they wrote all of it down on the papyrus, and they wrote it on down. And they say that they even took what he had said and they sent it to the king who was over Upper and Lower Kemet. So this is somebody who put 2 different nations together. This is God with juice. You pulling nations together. I say you controlling, running a large swath of the continent. They brought that to him. And this is in my mind's eye. I lose a little artistic license, as they say. And I got it right, Gila? Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Gila, okay. That's my God of spoke. I love her heart. They brought it to the king, and he read it, and he was like, wow, this is heavy duty. I ain't read nothing like this in my life. He had he touched the king's heart. And they say that after they did the 9th petition, that, and I know he was going in on him, that they called him into the office. You know that call. And during them days, it wasn't like, he'd have been beat. That. He knew now this is the next step. Okay. The next step is that, they say we take a little more than just a whoop. You just might be one of the sacrificials. We about to take, and he knew it, and he just said, man. And he was, he felt bad, but he still went forward. Still went in there. He sat down and he spoke with the magistrate and the high steward and the company of the king's men. And there's another little writing in the Hosea on page 77. And it talks about this person that just says, every day that dawns brings events from which the face is forced to turn. That there's some things that happen every day that, it's hard to just face up to. But I speak out strongly against it. My limbs are heavy laden, and my heart is heavy with grief. It is painful not to speak about it. Another heart might bend or break, but a strong heart in the midst of difficulty is an ally to his own. Come on. 5,000 years ago, they wrote this down. So he knew that this might have been it. Yeah. I'm sure he started thinking when he left, that was may have been the last time I kissed my wife. Yeah. Last time I hold my children. Last time I say a farewell to my community, my friends. But he went in. See, when he went in, they laid out the papyrus that they had written. They just said, man, brother, you are bad. Not only will we, you get everything back. But we're going to call Nepti Doc in. And I don't know what happened, but I know in my mind's eye what happened when they called Nepti Doc in. Who's supposed to be representing. He's an official in that community. Representing the king, representing leadership. They called him in. They say that, he got all of his items, got all of his got all of his things back, and they rewarded him. And just to have the king say, man, you bad. Not bad in a negative way, you bad in a positive way. Like James Brown said, you super bad. You know, what you say is so thoughtful. It comes from that center of the essence of who you are. And so I would say that once I started preparing and reading Nipsey Knock a while back. And I knew that when we did this message, when I did the message, that I would talk about Nipsey Knock and the importance to follow the Ma'at, you know, that we do Ma'at, that we think Ma'at, that we speak Ma'at, that we do Ma'at, that we think good, righteous, balance, reciprocity, that we speak about, you know, truth, justice, that we do truth, justice, righteousness, that these are the things that we do. That was the crux of what I wanted to say. But kind of a little tributary note, this weekend, the group I work with, we took a group of young men out to Rio Vista, to this like the Sacramento River. Took him out there for overnight. It's about 18, 20 of them. The group that I work with, most of the young men, many of them, I don't say most of them were involved in somehow with the criminal justice system. And the guys, they got one of the young men that I took up there, he, you know, one of my guys under my wing, you know, he's looking at a felony. You know, they're talking about jail time or prison time is the only way they talking. Not he ain't had a trial yet. You understand what I'm saying? They have not sat down and had a trial and then came up with the verdict, and the verdict is guilty. And then once it's guilty, then they go to the books, and the books lay out how much time you're gonna do. That ain't the system that they using for our kids.
Come on now.
Come on. They're already talking about, well, are we gonna send him to jail or send him to prison? Where he gonna go? He's 20 years old.
Yeah, no.
Bunch of these young men out there spent the night, was able to go get some jet skis. We had them on the Sacramento River. And these cats were on the jet skis and zim going. And then some of the ones that talk about, I want to do it, they get on it, they feel the power, they get off. Some fell off, the whole 9 yards, you know. They was going, and it was wonderful. And I was standing back and I was looking at these young men, and they converted from 19, 20-year-old young men to their essence. Yes, Bible study. They were 9 and 10-year-old boys. You seen them just laughing and jumping and all of the joy and all the, you see that coming out. And that's when I thought last night, I changed a little bit. And I'm saying, we'll say, who is the Kunanu for our young men? Come on. Who are the Kunanus for our young women? Come on. Who are those that speak up for our elder? Who are the ones that step forward and will do 9 petitions to get it right? Come on now. Come on now. Teach. Who are the ones that step up and say, this is not right? I will go to I will go to this particular Nipsey Knock. I will go to the high steward. I will go to the magistrate. I will go to the judicious. I will go to the Quran. I will go talk to those I need to speak to get this person to get it right. Get it right. Who are those? And I remember it came to me, the line from, I don't know how many of you saw Antoine Fisher. Yeah. When he was in there with Denzel Washington, this brother that went through so much. Yeah. And Antoine Fisher was just so much, had so much pain within him. And Denzel, as a therapist, as a psychiatrist, worked with him. He stuck with him. He hung in there with him. And he said, I got a poem I wrote. And the essence of his poem, he said, who is going to cry for the little boy inside me? Yeah. Come on now. Yeah. Come on. Who's going to speak up for me? Yeah. Well, say yes. So when we read the story, we got to start to look, what role can we play? Yes. Who is going to hold that little boy? Hug that little boy. Support that little boy. Who is going to hold that little girl? Support that little girl. We're not saying that everyone is innocent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because just like Nimti Knock, they are just guys who just is evil. It's out there, but that is not the majority.
Come on now.
There's so many. I mean, he's just the one guy that they already talking about jail time or prison time, and he ain't had a trial yet.
Yeah.
They haven't sat down. They haven't pulled out all the witnesses. They haven't got all the information yet. They haven't gathered it. They already say, you going to jail or prison. So that just like Nimti Knock, I'm going to just beat you. First, we're going to steal your youth. We're going to steal from you. We're going to take the joy that you have. We're going to take the youth that you have. We're going to take the wonderment in life that you have. We're going to take that from you. That's gone. Then we're going to beat you. We know the systems that are going on.
Yeah.
Sure. Our kids as well as our adults.
Come on.
Getting beat. And then they say, you don't even have a voice. You can't even speak on this. Just shut up. Just get stolen. They will get robbed, get beat, and just shut up. Yes. Come on. And so we'll say, I think that our charge is out there. And I think that the Most High has given many of us the ability to learn, the ability to speak, the ability to come up with a craft that can be used to support our community, can come up with a craft and an ability, a skill to be able to continue to work with our elders, work with our seniors, work with our children, to work, do the work, be like Kunanu. You have land. It's going to be what it's going to be. If you don't put no work in there, it's going to be weeds.
Come on.
Sister Rhonda got watermelons growing in the backyard. They didn't just decide to get them grow. I stuck some in the ground. What happened, wife? They gone. I don't know. Some dug them up. We put them in the ground. I didn't do the work. I didn't do like Sister Rhonda, MIT. You know, she put the work in. We got to put that work in. We got to till that soil. We got to plant seeds of wisdom. We got to take it. We got to help it to grow up to be the best that they can be.
Yes.
Because we get older. You know the cycle of life. Pretty soon, either going to be driving Baba Ty around. Come by, pick up. Come on, Baba.
I won't be excited for that.
Come on, that's all right. You're gonna fly out to come visit. You know, I was saying I'm closing up. I'm patting myself on I'm patting myself on the back. I didn't do a whole lot. My granddaughter, she's 10 years old. She'll be 11 in September, I believe. She was in a gymnastics tournament, nationals in Florida, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. She got first all around. She's all American. She got, they give you the award. She put a thing around her neck with all American that she did on her own. I'm hoping that she come visit me like I try and go down and visit her. But I know we work right. They live right. Listen to their parents. Come on now. Then they will come back around and start to provide for us. So we got to know that if nothing else, be there to hug that little girl.
That's it.
Be her 10, be her 20, be her 30 years old. Come on, come on. Who gonna be there to hug that little boy?
Yes.
Be him 8, be him 18, be him 38. Come give him a hug and let him know it's gonna be all right. I listen to you, I hear you, I see you, you something. So here at We'll Say, that's what we try and do. We strive to be that part of the community that gets involved, get in and get the work done. Bible study got a school. Folks don't know it. I know it. Bible study got a school. You know, Eleoma Day is Rose School.
Yes.
Working with them kids.
Come on now.
David doing it. His son is here, holding them up, working with them. We got to continue to do the work. As Kunanu had said, you know, I'm on the right way. I'm on the good way, as he words it. You know, the good way, the right way is mine. Our way is the way of mine.
That's it.
Truth, justice, righteousness,
That's it.
right
Yes,
force,
yes.
blessed prosper as we continue working the well. So we'll say our prayers and blessings out to each and every one of you. I hope that you can pray for me like I pray for you. Hold me close like I hold you close. Ashe, thank you. Ashe. Ashe.
I'm in Rahatap.
That's it. That's it.
All right, Mama Sydney.
All right.
That's that train.
That's it.
Coming around that last lap of jazz. All right. Now is the time where we would like to extend an invitation to anyone who may be thinking that they would like to be a part of what we're doing here at Rose, would like to be a part of this movement, would like to be a part of learning and living in the way is Mont, as we say. If you have been visiting with us and sharing with us, and inside of you, you feel as though I think this could be for me, come on and see what it's all about. Come on and find out what it's all about. Come on and step on over that line.
Yes.
We have, I believe, 6 ministers in training. Don't offend anybody if I got it wrong, but there's something for everybody here. You know, I'm still figuring out exactly what my something is, but it's for somebody. You know, we got Minister Malley here. Minister Malley gonna let you have it. He's gonna let you have it down home, country style with some grits and some gravy. He's gonna let you have it. We got Baba Sydney. Baba Sydney is going to give you all of the joy, all of the uplifting, all of the light, all of the smiles. Just when you see him coming, I always still think of when I first came here and Baba Sydney on the regular was like, "Hey, sister, how you doing?" And I was like, "Hey, man, you get back up from what you But, you know, I had to understand that he meant that in the most loving and precious way. We got Minister Malik out there. You know, Minister Malik is used to commanding legions. And Minister Malik gonna get you right. You know, he's got all kind of information for you. You know, he was out there with Baba Tai, handling the battalions throughout Oakland and keeping us all safe and everything. So believe me, he knows how to work with a whole bunch of folks and get it all together. We got Brother Bill out there. Just give yourself a minute to talk to Brother Bill. Just give yourself a minute and you will get your life right. You will go back and sit down and process it for a while, but you will get your life right. We got something for everybody here, I'm telling you. Just want to, losing my microphone, that's okay. Just want to, who am I not thinking of? You know, them, we got, okay, that's right, we got Minister in Training Shango, you know, that one's a doozy. Minister in Training Shango, I believe he was a, what do you call what he studied? No, yes. That part too. He is looking at being the chaplain, you know, and that is a very important and special role, because to say it simply, we all need somebody who not so much that we can talk to, but someone who will listen when we do. Ashe? Ashe. Ashe. I'm not even gonna get into the big hitters because they got enough light on them as it is. But as Minister Makalisi, Minister Imhotep, Minister Alicia, you know, so if you've been thinking about it, you feel comfortable here. You feel like this is a place that you can relate to. You feel like it's different, but I'm different. then come on, be different with us. So the floor is open. We got phones ringing. We do that too. So don't worry. If your phone rings, it's okay. It's okay. We'll excuse you. You get 3. If there's anyone out there though, please raise a hand, speak up, turn your light on, whatever you might need to do to let us know that today is the day for you. If today's not the day for you, tomorrow's okay too, but I won't be up here tomorrow. So today, if today is the day for you, just raise a hand, push a button, do something, wave the flag, and let us know. I can't even see if you are, so keep doing it and somebody else let me know if they are. And if they're not, that's okay. Do I need to do that? Okay, so if you didn't get your hand up today and your light on today, be ready next week. We'll still be here. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna real quickly say, bow my head at least and say thank you to everyone who heard my voice. Thank you to everyone who heard my words. Thank you to everyone who knows that even though at times I say things with humor and playfulness, that it's from a point of being light. It's from a point of trying not to always let my burden weigh me down. It's from a point of wanting to bring some levity into our days and bring some laughter into our lives. I thank you, Amen Ra. I thank you for giving me this day to be here with my family. Ashe, Amen Ra, Ashe, and Amen Ra. And if we would come up and sing, lift every voice and sing to close out, we will be wrapping this up.
Yeah, come on up and sing. Woo-hoo! We got a ton of books. It's like a mirror because I'm looking like, wait a minute.
Started sitting.
Okay.
Melanie can't see.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the roaring sea. Sing a song full of faith that the darkness has taught. Sing a song full of hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. As we stand here holding hands and virtually holding hands with one another, we will say that we believe there is one God, one faith, one aim, one destiny. Let us call on the name that the ancestors said for so many years. Let us all say, Amen. Together, you are the most beautiful people on the face of this earth.